So a seller will call me, invite me over to their house, and want me to show them exactly what I can do to sell their home. After going through the whole spiel, they look at me and they say, well, Talon, this is the biggest debate we've been talking about. Should I sell my house now or should I wait 6 months or so? And my answer almost never depends upon the market. And it's usually always based upon their life. Yo, what's up everybody? Hang on, I want to show you somebody. This is my little puppy. We got her earlier this year. My name's Talon. I'm a local real estate agent here in Northeast Arkansas. If you've been thinking about buying, selling, investing in this area, feel free, use the information below, send me a message. I would love to have an opportunity to earn your business. God, she is cute. All right, so if you've been thinking about selling your home and you're wondering if you should sell now or wait 6 to 12 months or a few years, here is the biggest thing that I would caution you right out of the gate, and that is stop trying to time the market. I mean, you're doing something that even professional economic people can't do. People all the time are trying to pinpoint exactly when to sell stock or pinpoint exactly when interest rates are gonna fall. At the end of the day, your decision should not just be based on trying to time the market correctly, because you could be setting yourself up for failure. Most people don't usually miss the market because of selling early. They usually miss it because of waiting for certainty. The second point I would tell you if you're a seller debating whether or not you should wait or sell now is, what does your life demand from you? What does your life tell you? Are you getting a new job, or is there a greater opportunity out there? Or are you wanting to have more kids, or are your kids still in school? Are you at the point where you're ready to downsize and just have all this space that you're not using? Or are you just trying to relocate altogether? These are factors that actually make the biggest difference when they're going to sell your property, all because the market is always going to be fluctuating. But your life is usually the biggest differentiating factor on whether or not you should wait or take advantage right now. Because you might feel like you want a bigger house, but you know moving into a market where you can buy a bigger house and relocating your kids from school, all of a sudden you start weighing out, well, do I really want to uproot my kids and move them out of school into a new school during this time? Like, what does your life demand of you? And these are the conversations that I have with my clients before we ever even decide to work together. Because you need to be able to look at your life from all different angles, and unfortunately, people aren't really trained to do this. And so because we've done this so much in the past for other people, we know the types of questions to ask to really get you to think, not on how to sell your property for top dollar all the time, but rather, does this move make sense or not? All right, here's another question I want to ask you if you're considering waiting or trying to figure out whether you should move right now. And that is, what happens if you wait? Some of the possible benefits of waiting is perhaps you might be able to take advantage of more equity in the home. Typically, the longer you own your property, the more in value it appreciates. And perhaps interest rates do go down quite significantly later on. And if they do drop as a seller, that's really the best time to sell, because now all of a sudden there is a demand for your property because interest rates cost so little. They're so low where borrowing money costs so little. Therefore, demand is at an all-time high. And so as a seller, that's really the best market to be in. Now, the catch with waiting with those same possibilities in mind is you might have more competition. You're going to be paying insurance, taxes, maintenance, and you could perhaps lose a opportunity just because of what a buyer you might be missing in between the time of now and waiting. I cannot tell you how many times I've sold a house to somebody in the neighborhood, and in the day or two after we close, the home right down the road pops up for $10,000 more, and my buyer looks at me and says, wow, I wish I would have waited. I would have bought that house all day long over this one. Sometimes people miss opportunities because they list their home too late. Here's another point I want you to consider. What is your home really worth? And let me elaborate. What is your home worth today? Some people are trying to debate back and forth whether or not they should sell right now or wait 6 to 12 months. But sometimes when analyzing the numbers and figuring out, oh wait, my home isn't actually worth exactly what I thought it was, it is a very easy way to dictate your decision, because if you're expecting to make $1 million on your property, but your realtor comes in and only tells you it's worth 500, that might play a role in your decision-making process. I've unfortunately been in these conversations before where people want to sell their property and they're expecting to sell it for $300,000. And because they had a realtor lie to them, or because they believed everything they seen on the internet, they allow me to come in, all to find out that Taylon's only comfortable selling it around the $250,000 mark. And now all of a sudden they just, in their eyes, lost $50,000 in their pocket. Now that trip that they had started planning to Hawaii is no longer a possibility. Therefore, they just start questioning the entire process as a whole. When a realtor comes over, you should not let them come over and have itching ears, meaning you're looking for them to tell you the things that you want to hear, but rather you should invite the realtor over to expect them to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. I don't go into the doctor's office with a sickness and say, "Doc, tell me the good news. Tell me what I want to hear." No. I'm going to the professional. I'm having him analyze my body to tell me the things wrong. Therefore, I can get better over a period of time, just as your realtor should as well. There's too many realtors out there that are so willing to tell sellers everything they want to hear just to get the business. But unfortunately, that can cost you thousands of dollars in the long run. My next point that might help you make a decision whether you should move now or wait is, can you actually afford the next move? Let me remind you that interest rates are around the 6 to 7 mark right now, depending upon who you are. And that $250,000 house that you have right now, yes, the payment's fairly affordable for you and you're wanting something bigger, but let me remind you, your interest rate will nearly double on the next house perhaps. And people, that tends to give them this, instant shock when they start getting home quotes, because they're used to this really cheap interest rate. Now, all of a sudden, when looking at the next property, the payment is outrageous. And so, can you really afford the next property, the new mortgage, the new insurance rates? You've got closing costs that you still have to consider. The question shouldn't be, can I sell? It should be, can I comfortably move into the next property where it doesn't jeopardize our family? And if you don't have a lot of equity in your house as it is, probably making the move might not be the best decision right now, especially if you don't have to move right now. This is what I would tell you, depending upon where you're at, whether you are listing your house in 6 months or you're wanting to put your home in the market today. And I would petition you, slow down before you put a sign up. You better put a plan in place. You need to really understand the timing aspect and the repairs that might be associated with selling this house. You need to have some really hard conversations about a pricing strategy that makes sense and a marketing campaign that will push your home to all people. And then perhaps the biggest one is where you're gonna go after closing. What does the next move look like? Look, selling your house shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be moving into the next chapter of your life successfully. So look, if this is you, if you're the one I'm talking to, you've been contemplating, should I list my house now or wait a year or so, send me a message. I would love to really have a conversation, not just about your house, but about your life. And let's figure out if this truly does make sense. Because, and this hurts as a numbers guy, sometimes it's not always about the numbers. Sometimes it's about your circumstances that really make or break the decision you can make. So if that's you, you want help, all my details are down below. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up, comment something that you learned, and subscribe for more content like this.